And folks, you hear the motors coming to life. Out come the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour. 32 cars strong. The best modified field this track has seen in a very, very long time. No one has ever gone as fast on this track as most of these drivers did today. The former fast time at this track was a 14.409. Our top 22 drivers all qualified in on time. All of those drivers were underneath the former track record. All but, I believe, 5 cars were underneath the track record for a modified here at the track. It is going to be bad fast. These cars are going to be loud. They're going to be fast. I am so glad each and every one of you here at the track are here with us. Thank you to everybody at fanschoice.tv watching live all around the world. I know we got people all over the country watching. Folks, you are in for a treat today. And folks, here we go, 150 laps for the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour. 32 cars strong here at America's hometown track. Folks, it's been a long time since we've had this many modifieds out on the track. So glad each and every one of you can be here at the track. If you're not here at the track, so glad each and every one of you watching live on fanschoice.tv. I want to say hello to our friends down in Texas. Glad to have you with us as well. And here's the starting lineup for today's race. On the pole with a time of 13.489, a speed of 103.979 miles an hour, driving the Catalano Motorsports Chevrolet, Tommy Catalano. To his outside, starting second, Chase Dowling from Roxbury, Connecticut in the S&S Pontiac. Ron Silk from Norwalk, Connecticut in the Stewart's Automotive Chevrolet starts third. John McKennedy from Chelmsford, Massachusetts, driving the Kurt Record Chevrolet, starts fourth. Matt Swanson from Acton, Massachusetts will start fifth. Justin Bonsignor from Holtzville, New York starts sixth. Burt Myers from beautiful Walnut Cove, North Carolina starts seventh. Anthony Nacella from Woburn, Mass starts eighth. Kyle Bonsignor from Bayshore, New York starts ninth. Doug Colby from Milford, Connecticut starting to his outside in 10th. Doug Colby won the race 2 weeks ago at Myrtle Beach Speedway. Chris Pasteryak from Lisbon, Connecticut starts 11th. Blake Barney from Lakewood, New Jersey starts 12th. Timmy Salamito from Islip, New York starts 13th. With Jimmy Blewett from Howell, New Jersey starting 14th. Rob Summers from Manchester, Connecticut starts 15th. Calvin Carroll from Newton, New Jersey starts 16th. Riverhead, New York's Eric Goodell and Dave Sapienza starting 17th and 18th. Patrick Emmerly from Orchard Park, New York starts 19th. James Savelli from Meridian, Connecticut starts 20th. Timmy Catalano from Ontario, New York starts 21st. Frank Fleming will start to his outside in 22nd. Craig Lutz, Woody Pitcat, Wade Cole, Ken Heege, Melissa Fifield, Walter Sutcliffe Jr., Sam Roimo, Jeremy Gerstner, Kyle Ebersole, and J.B. Fortin Jr. round out your field. Race fans, get on your feet. We're going modified racing for 150 laps here at South Boston Speedway. The Danville Toyota Pace Truck sauntering its way off of turn 4. It makes a hard left-hand turn. Green flag in the hand, green flag in the air, and we are underway for 150 laps. They are already beating and banging through turns 1 and 2. Tommy Catalano to the outside, he takes the lead. Looking at his inside is Chase Dowling. Field scattering through the field already. 2-3 wide all the way around this 4/10-mile track. Saw one car drift up into the wall there. That is the 2 of Doug Colby. Major trouble for Colby. He's drifting back through the field. Falling back 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 7 spots right there. He'll catch back up with the number 36 machine of David Sapienza, but that's back at about 17th place. Folks, if he's going to want to win this one, he's got a lot of work to do now. Side-by-side battle with Eric Goodale and Patrick Everly. Goodale's got the spot. Calvin Carroll now to his side. They're going to support that all out. Goodale gets the spot. 25 with Calvin Carroll tucking right behind him. Right now, 32 cars on a 4/10-mile track. Not a lot of places to hide unless you're out front. And you see who's out front. Tommy Catalano. His last lap time was still right about a 10th slower than the fastest lap ever run here in a modified up until today. First 3 or 4 spots pretty much spread out. After that, it is a train all the way around this track. Had a chance to chat with Burt Myers a little bit ago. He said you're going to see a lot of these guys trying to find a spot, try to get the handling of their car. Practice was under the clouds. It was cooler. These cars just aren't used to running on this track in this heat. So a lot of these guys have made some adjustments, expecting the sun to come out, expecting a little bit of the late model rubber to be put down. But folks, this is a very different track than these guys practiced on. This is a very different track than these guys qualified on. John McKennedy trying to hold off Matt Swanson, Justin Bonsignor, and Burt Myers. Anthony Nacella right there as well. Just out of shot, but Nacella's got a quick car as well. And right now, McKennedy, if he gets bumped out of the way, it's going to be a handful of spots he's going to lose in a hurry. Back up front, still all Tommy Catalano. He's led from the green flag. Lap time right now about a 10th off his best lap of the race. Last time by was a 14.546. Best time was a 14.415. Catalano, one of the fastest in practice, fastest in qualifying, and right now fastest out the track. Chase Dowling trying to chase him down, but every lap, Catalano's just about 0.05 of a second faster than Dowling. Trouble down the backstretch. One car in the wall. Waiting for the car to turn just a little bit to see who that was. That looks like it's Justin Bonsignor in the number 51 machine. He got hooked coming down the backstretch. Absolutely nowhere to go. Got up in the wall. Cut down right front. Looks like it might have a busted axle there. That tire is, yeah, that's not in good shape, folks. Justin Bonsignor brings out the first caution of the day on lap number 16. And folks, if that is not terminal, it is close to it. He will come to the attention of his crew, but his crew not moving all too fast there as he pulls his car in, and folks are hopping off the wall, and he's bringing that back behind the wall, and Justin Bonsignor will be the first car out of today's race on lap number 16. Once again, I want to thank everyone watching live at home on fanschoice.tv. Got folks watching all around the world, and so glad each and every one of you could invite us into your living room, office space, wherever you happen to be watching online, and so glad you could all be there. Once again, everyone here at the track, it is an absolutely perfect day, and this crowd is amazing. Absolutely amazing crowd out there. Jam-packed in the grandstands, jam-packed all the way around the track, and yeah, folks, it is a done deal for Justin Bonsignor there. That is a lot of right front damage, and there's no way they're getting Humpty Dumpty put back together again for this one. So 1 week from today, folks, making their way, I guess 8 days from today, making their way back up I-95, heading over to Thompson Speedway Motorsports Park, one of the nicest road courses around, as well as a very, very beautiful oval track that puts on the icebreaker each and every season. That is April 7th for the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour. Those venture west just a little bit over to Stafford Motor Speedway on April 28th, Wall Stadium Speedway on May 8th, Seekonk Speedway on June 1st. 4 days later, back over to Thompson, Riverhead, New Hampshire, Stafford, Thompson, Oswego, Riverhead, New Hampshire, Stafford, and back to Thompson. You can go to NASCARWhelenModifiedTour.com for the full schedule of racing for the Modified Tour, and there's a lot of good racing in a hurry. We have one car on pit road. That is a number 16 machine of Timmy Samalito. Looks like tires on the right side for him. Maybe just a right rear change there. Working on the car. They're taking their sweet, sweet time working on that car, and he will get going and stay on the lead lap. And once again, an absolutely beautiful crowd here. This grandstands are packed full. Trackside parking, packed full. Trackside seating, packed full. Folks were lining up here. My understanding were that pre-race ticket sales were well ahead of anything we've done here for any touring series just about ever. So those of you who got your tickets in advance here at the track, smart thinking. And of course, hit us up on Twitter at SoboSpeedway57, on Instagram at SoboSpeedway57, Facebook.com/South Boston Speedway for ticket giveaways, news, information, photos. We'll have some pictures from Victory Lane here, but getting ready to go green again for the South Boston 150. That beautiful Danville Toyota Pace truck, again, making this nice. It goes a lot faster than that, I promise you that, but sauntering his way off of turn number 4 and back on pit road, and 31 cars still on the lead lap, folks, so it's going to be a good one here. Green flag back in the air, and we're back underway. 21 laps in the books, and once again, it is Tommy Catalano all right out front, but this time, Chase Dowling holding on to the outside lane. Tucks in a little bit. Can't quite do anything with him. He'll tuck in behind Catalano. Dowling looks to the inside, tries a crossover. Almost makes it happen, just can't quite finish it off. Now we see Catalano move up to the high side. You saw this in the late model stock race. Guys making that high side work. A lot of these guys talked about, will a high groove come in for us? Right now, it's looking pretty promising. Catalano uses that outside groove on more than one occasion, and he's starting to pull away from an absolute hornet's nest behind him. Anthony Nacella trying to hold off John McKennedy, Blake Barney, Burt Myers, Kyle Bonsignor, Chris Pasteryak, and Rob Summers all right there. 2 and almost a couple times 3 wide back there. Blake Barney has pulled away from the little scrum behind him. Kyle Bonsignor, Burt Myers side by side back there. Bonsignor gets his spot. McKennedy back in 8th, Myers in 9th, and Rob Summers sits in 10th. Folks, whatever patience anybody was talking about before we got going racing today, that's gone. All of that is gone. These guys are racing hard, diving those cars in deep, and you see guys kind of single file out like you do, and they're going to ride as best they can, but man, the second the spot even opens up, oh, trouble in turn number 3. Hard hit. Many cars involved, including Fleming is involved. Kyle Ebersole looks to be involved. Trying to see whoever else is out there. The 18 machine, Ken Hege, he is involved. Second caution flag of the day flags on lap 27. Try to give you a full rundown of everybody involved there as soon as this all kind of works itself out. But hard hit over there in turn 3, and it's one of those spots, if you're going full throttle into the corner, if you get hooked just right, you have no time to brake, and it is a hard hit going back up into the wall over there. It looks like Frank Fleming, Kyle Ebersole, Calvin Carroll, Jeremy Gertzner all stuck over there right now, and none of those cars will get going again. The 55 machine of Gertzner, he's moving, got a cut down left rear, and red flag will fly for the first time today on lap number 27. Had a chance to chat with Frank Fleming's crew just a little bit ahead of time before the race, and Fleming was looking forward to being back here at South Boston. He's run here a few times in the NASCAR Whelen Southern Modified Tour, and was really looking forward to being out here and racing again somewhere a little closer to home, and just wrong place, wrong time, and he's up in the wall, and his day is done. You see a lot of fluid coming out underneath that Kyle Ebersole machine. The good news is, with the new asphalt, the track dries pretty quickly. You usually get the kitty litter down, get it all swept up, and we get going racing usually in a few minutes. So we'll see how fast we can get this one, get all these cars peeled off the track, get the track all dried up, and get going racing again. Weather today has been absolutely beautiful, about 75 degrees, partly cloudy at worst. So the clouds starting to roll in just a little bit, giving a little bit of cloud cover, something that some of the late model guys were really hoping to get, try to grip the track back up, but you see there, Jeremy Gertzner getting his car looked at. Can't work on it under the red flag condition, but we can stare at it and gonk at it for a little bit and figure out what we're going to do. The car not in quite as rough shape as one expected. A couple cut tires. The front end's a little mangled, but nothing too bad there. There's Frank Fleming's machine, and that is good and done. Once again, folks, 1 month from today, just about, May 4th. It's a little over a month from today. The NASCAR K&N East Tour Twin 100s here at South Boston Speedway. That is May 4th, $10 in advance, $15 at the gate. Again, the more tickets you buy, the more money you're saving. Buy those tickets in advance. You can get them right now while you're waiting to go back yellow. Go get yourself a bologna burger, get yourself some tickets. Be ready to go for the NASCAR K&N Tour. Pure Sox and Hornets with them. Our very next race will be April 20th, our first night race of the season. 225s for the limited sportsman, 100 laps for late model stocks, and that'll get us 5 races already into the late model stock season. And as we expected, a lot of those guys racing up front. Philip Morris, Peyton Sellers, Lee Pulliam, those guys have been battling, but we've had Thomas Scott working up there. We saw Trey Cruz today working up there. some of these guys that know how to be up front are showing their true colors. It's just a matter of what do they have to beat these guys who have won track championships, who have won national championships. A lot going on there with those guys. April 20th is our next race, and again, June 29th, Virginia Triple Crown, first jewel of that, and that is the 200 lap late model stock race. Usually we have about 35, 36 cars for that one. Got some big announcements for that one. Be looking on our social media at Sobo Speedway 57, both on Instagram and Twitter. Facebook.com/South Boston Speedway. And folks, I assure you there's going to be some big announcements. A lot of the drivers are going to like it. A lot of the fans are going to like it. And if you thought the racing out here has been good so far this season, I assure you it will only get better. Last car being pulled off the track, that is Kyle Ebersol, and what was his number 5 machine. See some body work being pulled off of some of these cars. Just a tough break this early in the race, and we had chatted about it during pre-race. There's just nowhere to hide with these machines. You know, you got the big wide tires. Somebody gets a little squirrely off the corner, and with this many cars on the track, there's absolutely nowhere to go. And all of a sudden, you have 4, 5, 6 cars caught up in a wreck there, and unfortunately, that is that'll be the end of the day for Ebersol, Fleming, and Carroll. It looks like everyone else, Ken Heagy, J.B. Fortin, Jeremy Gertzner, all are going to be able to keep racing. I'll give you a full field rundown right now as we wait to go back under yellow. Tommy Catalano is your leader. Chase Dowling sits second. Ron Silk third. Matt Swanson fourth. Anthony Nacella sits fifth. Blake Barney sixth. Kyle Bonsignor seventh. Rob Summers eighth. John McKennedy sits ninth. And Doug Colby 10th. Good run for Colby after getting shuffled back very early in a very big field of cars. Burt Meyer sits 11th. Chris Pasteryak 12th. Eric Goodell 13th. Craig Lutz 14th. Dave Savienza 15th. Patrick Emily 16th. Jimmy Blue 17th. Kenny Salamito 18th. Sidney Ramos 19th. James Savelli sits 20th. Woody Pitcat up to 21st. Wade Cole 22nd. Timmy Catalano 23rd. Melissa Fifield 24th. Walter Sutcliffe Jr. 25th. Ken Heagy 26th. J.B. Fortin 27th. Jeremy Gertzner 28th. That should be all the cars still in this race. Frank Fleming, Kyle Ebersol, Calvin Carroll, and Justin Bonsignor all out of the race. We'll wait to find out. Jeremy Gertzner currently showing as still being in the race. They're looking that car over. Once we get back under yellow, we should have a better idea as to what, if anything, it'll take to get the car back on the track. Hearing cars starting to fire their engines again. Should be going yellow here in just a moment. Track cleanup just about done over there in turn number 3. And again, folks, we want to thank Whelen Engineering for helping put on all of these races, both for the NASCAR Whelen All-American Series and the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour. Off the track, Whelen is a choice for police, fire, public works, and EMS markets worldwide. Whelen products are proudly designed, manufactured, and assembled here in the United States of America. And we're back under yellow. Once again, you see a beautiful, beautiful crowd here at America's hometown track. Want to say a quick hello. Mr. Steve Post in the audience today, one of Motor Racing Network's biggest modified fans. Glad to have him out here. You can check out his show, Wig Nation, on MRN.com. Of course, NASCAR Coast to Coast with Kyle Rickey and Hannah Newhouse every week on Wednesday. Once again, MRN.com is where we can get all of that. A lot of great things, podcasts, a lot of modified information, a lot of weekly racing information, a lot of sprint car information on top of all your top NASCAR series. Really, really cool stuff MRN is doing week in and week out with that. So go to MRN.com, check all that out. I'm sure they'll very well might have the winner of this race on in the next week or two, leading up to the icebreaker up at Thompson. 64 car on pit road. That's Rob Summers. He was running very, very well there. They're checking something in the front of that car. The hood of that is being picked up, pulled off of that car, and never a good sign when the hood of your car's got to go up. Both of you are just driving it around, or if you're here at the racetrack, anytime you've got your hood up and about 4 or 5 dudes looking at it, you're having a bad time. Car just might be overheating there. They're got a fire extinguisher hooked up to that thing now, and a lot more action coming on to pit road. It's going to be Woody Pitcat coming on pit road, James Savelli coming on to pit road, Timmy Catalano coming on pit road, not Tommy Catalano. He's leaving. Timmy Catalano racing for Rookie of the Year. He's on pit road, as is the number 21 machine of Jimmy Blewett. Jimmy Blewett's going to get a right rear tire. Teams are allowed up to 4 tires, however they want to use them on their car. There is no halfway break. All these pit stops are live pit stops. And when he talked to a lot of these drivers, a lot of these guys really drive their car hard off the right rear. Get that car turned, get in the gas, and they're using that right rear to really propel that car off. So if you can get yourself a new right rear on that car, got a little more grip, you got a little more push, you might be able to work your way through the field. If you're only sitting 20th in the field, why not come on the pit road, get that worked out? We've got 27 cars. Jeremy Gerstner, by the way, out of the race. He will be credited with 28th place. As someone who's had to pour a gallon of water into their engine not too terribly long ago, I assure you that Rob Summers having a gallon of water pumped into his engine right now is not a good thing. Looks like they might have a radiator leak on the car, something else along those lines, but there's fluid coming out of the bottom of that car as well. If he gets back out into this race, he's going to be many, many a lap down. Melissa Fifield coming back out on the track. She's going to be a couple laps down. Field double foul back up. Tommy Catalano is your leader. Chase Dowling sits second. Ron Silk third. Matt Swanson fourth. Anthony DeSella fifth. Blake Barney sixth. Kyle Bonsignor seventh. John McKennedy, Doug Colby, Burt Myers rounding out your top 10. Green flag back in the air, and we're back underway on lap number 31. Once again, Catalano and Dowling pull away from the field. Ron Silk sits third with that purple number 85 machine. Behind him, it's side by side between Anthony DeSella and Matt Swanson. Swanson gets shuffled back a little bit. Charges back up on the outside of DeSella. Can't quite do anything just yet. Dives it into 3, really, really deep. DeSella gets his, or Swanson gets a spot, I'm sorry. DeSella back to 5th. Kyle Bonsignor now trying to make it past Blake Barney on the high side, trying to do it the hard way. Bonsignor driving it in very, very deep and really getting a good run off the corner. He's going to make that pass stick. Move Bonsignor up to 6th, Blake Barney back to 7th. Doug Colby now on the outside of the number 77 of John McKennedy. McKennedy trying to make his way past Colby, but Colby, once he got moving after getting shuffled back early, has done nothing but go forward here. Making that outside groove work really well. However, he's got Chris Pasteryak right in front of him a couple times. Hasn't been able to really complete the cast. And this time, McKennedy dives back to the inside and outbreaks Colby going into the corner. McKennedy gets a spot and moves Colby back to 9th. Back to 10th, I'm sorry. Burt Myers now to the inside of Colby. Burt Myers so happy to be back here at South Boston Speedway. Loves this track. Has always run at this track very, very well. Move Myers into 10th. Doug Colby back to 11th. Timmy Salamito to the inside of Eric Goodale. That battle is for 13th. Doug Colby's got a mirror full of Dave Sapienza right now. Sapienza trying to find his way past Colby. Colby's racing. You see the race. He's not about to just let somebody by him for the sake of it. Sapienza doing what he can at the moment, but right now nothing looking there. Burt Myers down to the outside of the 14 of Blake Barney. That battle is for 7th. Barney's been able to hold on to the bottom, but guys are just getting up and around him. almost a little too easy. Just about touch coming off of turn number 4 there. Luke Burt Myers up to 7th place. Blake Barney back to 8th. Burt Myers is the man on the move. He's made his way up around Anthony Nacella for 5th. Myers had a good start to the race. Got shuffled back a little bit early and then has worked his way back up through the field and really is the man on the move. Talked about it earlier. He just loves racing here. Track, of course, a lot different than the last time he was here with the NASCAR Whelen Southern Modified Tour. Myers started 7th. He's made his way up to 5th after shuffling back as far as 11th to 12th or so. So nice run for him. Cal Bonsignor now to the inside of Anthony Nacella. Battle for 6th. Nacella to the high side. Bonsignor looks to the inside. Nothing there. Now he's going to get right on the bumper of Nacella. Once again, we'll look to the inside coming off of turn number 4. Once again, nothing there though. And just like that, Bonsignor makes it look easy. Move Cal Bonsignor to 6th. Nacella back to 7th. And now Anthony Nacella with a mirror full of Blake Barney. Blake Barney's been passed a whole bunch. Just went back green. Finally got his car back underneath him a little bit. Found a little bit of speed and now he's looking to the inside. A little bit loose here coming off of turn 4. Has to get down on the apron to catch it. And that's going to let Anthony Nacella pull away from him a little bit. Anthony Nacella trying to hold off Blake Barney, also trying to hold off Jimmy Blewett, as well as trying to hold off David Sapienza. This could go bad in a hurry for Nacella if something doesn't happen here for him. Jimmy Blewett will make it by on the inside, and then here comes Dave Sapienza. He makes it pass, as well as Blake Barney. Anthony Nacella. Caution on the Speedway, triple off of turn number 4. And that is the number 78 of Walter Sutcliffe Jr. He comes to a stop right on the exit of turn number 4. And folks, seen a few drivers get a little bit loose coming off of turn 4 there. And it looks like that time Sutcliffe got around and just hit the wall. Doesn't look like it's a lot of damage. Got some bumper damage, got a little rear end damage there, but all 4 tires appear to be inflated. The question is, can he get that car moving again? He answers that question for me with a resounding yes. And Sutcliffe will rejoin the race 1 lap down. Currently 20 cars on the lead lap. Under caution on lap number 57. We'll give you another full field rundown. Tommy Catalano is your leader. Chase Dowling 2nd. Burt Myers up to 3rd. Ron Silk 4th. Matt Swanson 5th. Kyle Bonsignor 6th. Jimmy Blewett 7th. Dave Sapienza 8th. Blake Barney 9th. Anthony Nacella 10th. John McKennedy 11th. Chris Pasteryak 12th. Timmy Salamito, 13th. Craig Lutz 14th. Doug Colby 15th. Woody Pitcat 16th. Patrick Emerling 17th. Samuel Ramos is 18th. James Savelli 19th. JB Fortin 20th. Those are the cars on the lead lap. Ken Hagee sits 1 lap down in 21st. Wade Cole, Walter Sutcliffe Jr. all 1 lap down in 21st, 22nd, and 23rd. Melissa Fifield, the only other car still in the race, she is 4 laps down in 24th. During that run there, both Eric Goodale and Timmy Catalano both came onto pit road, and Goodale came in on lap 49. Catalano a lap earlier on 48, but both cars look to be, man, if they're not done, they are sure close to done. If they rejoin the race, it's going to be many, many, many laps down. Green flag pit stops around here do not happen fast. And your leaders coming down to pit road this time by Tommy Catalano, Chase Dowling, both on pit road, as is Kyle Bonsignor, as is John McKennedy. Chris Pasteryak comes on to pit road. Doug Colby on the pit road. Right side tires for just about everybody. Both Catalano and Dowling are going to take right side, both front and rear. As will just about everybody else on pit road. We will re-rack the field for you once everyone's come off of pit road. A lot more drivers coming off of pit road as well. You have the number 92 machine of Anthony Nacella. He was racing on. A lot of these guys all coming on to pit road. Burt Myers chose to stay out. The 18 car of Ken Higgy, he will be your free pass car. Myers, Silk, Swanson, Blewett, Sapienza, Barney, Salamito. Everyone but Salamito decided to stay out that time. Salamito, the first car on the pit road. Cal Bonsignor, Patrick Emmerling, Tommy Catalano, Doug Colby, Anthony Nacella, Craig Lutt, Samuel Ramo, Woody Pitcat, James Savelli, Chris Pasteryak, Chase Dowling, John McKennedy, all on pit road. Probably no better time than right now to take this pit stop if you're going to take one. This track is tight. Once again, it's 45 feet wide. That's all you got to work with. You can go 2 wide. If you're brave, you can try to go 3 wide, but I can promise you it's not going to work very, very well. So if you're not out front and you got to work your way up through the field, you got to do it soon. So a lot of these guys choosing to come on a pit road, take tires now, just about right size for everybody. And we'll restart with Burt Myers as a control car. He will start on the outside of row 1. Ron Silk will start to his inside. Matt Swanson and Jimmy Blewett start in row number 2. Dave Sapienza, Blake Barney start in row number 3. Green flags back in the air, and we're back underway on lap number 62. Burt Myers was shot out of a cannon. He moves out to the lead. Jimmy Blewett follows him on the high side. Ron Silk kind of pinned down on the bottom there. Blake Barney will also make it up and around him. Ron Silk tucks back into 4th. It is Burt Myers out front. Blewett, Barney, a little bit of trouble down the backstretch. That was your leader. Tommy Catalano, major trouble out there. We had talked earlier about the potential of a bit of rubber building up on the outside of the track there. You see some of that rubber on the inside, those dark, dark lines on the yellow line there. Marbles have been kind of forming on the top part of that track. If you get too far out of the dark gray that you see out there, you could lose your car underneath you. It looks like that's what happened there. Tough break for Tommy Catalano. Drops back to 16th place. Patrick Emmerling and Double Colby make it up and around. Timmy Salamito. That battle was for 7th, 8th, and 9th. Move Emmerling up to 7th. Colby up to 8th. I'm sorry, here comes, Patrick Emmerling 7th, Colby 8th, Salamito 9th, Anthony Nacella sits in 10th. Woody Pitcat, good run for him. Tough qualifying for him. Had to take a provisional, started in 24th place, moved Pitcat up to 11th, working on a top 10 right now. Dave Sapienza trying to stay ahead of Ron Silk. Silk's been able to get a couple good runs coming off the corner, but really hasn't had the bite he's really needed. And with a lot of these guys taking tires that are going to start coming up on him, he might be in for a long ride toward the back. That car staying down on the bottom, but you see the 0-7 of Patrick Emmerling just working his way up to the outside and getting a really good run coming off the corner and able to drive it in a lot deeper going into the corner. Doug Colby to the inside of Mount. Swanson moved Colby up to 5th. Swanson back to 6th. Behind them, Patrick Emmerling still to the outside of Ron Silk. Patrick Emmerling has a spot. That is 7th for him. Ron Silk 8th. Anthony Nacella 9th. Woody Pigcat 10th. Timmy Salamito back to 11th. Walnut Cove's Burt Myers continues to lead, stretching out just about a 1 second advantage over Jimmy Blewett right now. I don't think anyone on this track has as many laps as Burt Myers does this here in South Boston. But again, since the last time Burt's been here, the track's been paved. It handles a lot different than it used to. All that said, Burt Myers loves it here, and he's found his way out to the front. Question is, if we have a couple more cautions, will his older tires catch up to him? But right now, nobody's got anything for him. 15.107 his last time by, and everyone else is sitting right at about a 15.1, 15.2. So even on older tires, no one's got anything for Burt Myers at the moment, halfway through this field. Doug Colby continues to climb his way to the front. Shuffled back as far as 17th, 18th maybe early in the race. He makes it to the inside and past Dave Sapienza. That is for 4th place, folks. Colby up to 4th, Sapienza back to 5th, and Colby's got a little bit of clear track to work with now. The question, if you're Doug Colby, you're a good 5, 6, 7 seconds back behind Burt Myers. How hard do you want to push that car right now to try to work your way to the front, or do you want to see if maybe those guys come back to you a little bit? Colby's got 75 laps to play with here. Craig Lutz makes easy work of Anthony Nacella. That battle was for 10th. Anthony Nacella now with a mirror full of Woody Pigcat. Pigcat looks to the inside of Nacella and gets up to his door and side by side down the backstretch, and it's going to be probably pretty easy work for Woody Pigcat there. It is. Sam Ramo moves his way up to 12th as well. Nacella falling back to 13th. He's dropped anchor since the restart here. Nacella back to 13th. He's got a lot of cars with new tires behind him. John McKennedy, Chris Pasteryak, Tommy Catalano, Timmy Salamito, Chase Dowling, all with new tires. Kind of mired back in the field right now. Caution flag flies. Car stopped over in turn number 4. And that is James Savelli, folks. He has come to a stop hardware at the Davenport Energy sign, right next to the Thunder Road Harley Davidson sign here, on the, right in the middle of turn number 4. Good news is he's moving. Bad news is that car is pancaked up on the wall, and his day is likely done. So here's a question. Oh, well, it looks like Savelli's moving again, so that's good. May have not hit the wall quite as hard, but you have to wonder if he hit the wall up there or just kind of rested up to a stop. Either way, these walls are really, really close to the track. You know, you have some tracks with a little more banking between you and the wall. Here, if that car goes around, it is going to be a hard smack up on the wall. Savelli with a little bit of rear end damage, a little bit of left side damage, but the tires are all pointing in the same direction, which is, generally speaking, the first thing you want to have with your car. Cars coming onto pit road, and we got a bunch of them. Burt Myers will not come onto pit road. However, Blake Barney's on pit road. Jimmy Blewett's on pit road. Doug Colby on pit road. Dave Sapienza on pit road. Matt Swanson. Ron Silk, all on pit road, as is the number 75 machine of Chris Pasteryak. Chase Dowling back on pit road, and right side tires, again, you get one full set of tires. Doesn't necessarily matter how you use them. It's going to be left side tires for rear tires for Doug Colby. Get one left side rear, one right side rear. And once again, that looks to be the order of the day, most of the way up and down pit road. Right side tires for the number 3 of Matt Swanson, but just about everyone else getting rears this time by. It was right sides as well for the number 14 machine. And hey, if you're here at the track, 50-50 ticket, your 50-50 raffle. 292-651. 252-651. You've won yourself the 50-50 raffle. Once again, your winning ticket, 50-50 raffle, 292-651. Again, if you're watching live on home on fanschoice.tv, so glad you could join us wherever you happen to be watching. I am Ken Childs. I'm the track announcer here at South Boston. So glad to have each and every one of you watching from wherever you happen to be watching. Heard some for folks in Northampton, Massachusetts, Raleigh, North Carolina, Atlanta, Georgia, Dallas, Texas. A lot of folks all over the country watching this race today, live on fanschoice.tv. Full NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour, full K&N Series, all on Fans Choice all season long. So make sure you check those schedules. The Modified Tour, 1 week from Sunday up at Thompson for the one and only Icebreaker. That coming up 1 week from today for the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour. We'll be back in action here for the NASCAR Whelen All-American Series at South Boston Speedway on April 20th. 100 laps for the late model stocks. May 4th will be the K&N E-Series. Those tickets on sale in advance now. You can go to the track office, go to southbostonspeedway.com for more information. $10 in advance, $15 at the gate. Make sure you get your tickets for that one. Boys put on a great show, always do, and they did last time, and I'm sure they will again coming up here. Free pass car this time by. That was J.B. Fortin in the number 34. That gives us 18 cars on the lead lap. Burt Myers again taking the high groove on the restart. Kyle Bonsignor will start to his inside on row number 1. Craig Lutz and Woody Pitcat in row number 2. John McKennedy, Tommy Catalano in row number 3. Blake Barney, Chris Pasteryak, Doug Colby, Ron Silk round out your top 10. Matt Dowling, Matt Swanson, Chase Dowling, Patrick Emmerling, David Sapienza, Sam Ramo, your top 15. Danville Toyota pace car back on pit road. Green flag back up in the air, and we're back on our way on lap number 89. Myers this time not quite able to pull away quite as much as he had last time. Kyle Bonsignor looks to his inside. Behind him, he's got Woody Pitcat as well. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cars all battling for the lead. Burt Myers with a good run on the outside. Bonsignor can't quite keep up, but he's going to drive it in deep into turn number 3. But again, it almost looks like Myers is backing up the corners just a little bit better than everybody else. Again, a really good hard drive off, and he starts to pull away from Kyle Bonsignor. It's Myers, Bonsignor, Pitcat, Catalano back up to 4th, Lutz, McKennedy and Pasteryak, your top 7. Doug Colby up and around Blake Barney. That battle was for 11th. Feel kind of stacked up in front of Colby right now. Not going to have a whole lot of anywhere to go for a little bit. If anyone can make his way through that little pack right there, it's going to be Colby. But you see, you have the number 77 of John McKennedy, Ron Silk, Chris Pasteryak, Trace Dowling, all right there in that little bubble. McKennedy really making a good run on the bottom, not having to run his car up the track quite as much as some of these other guys. Ron Silk will look to his outside, wiggles just a little bit. Good run though for Ron Silk as he dives it back into turn number 1. Move Ron Silk up to 6, McKennedy back to 7th. Chase Dowling in the black number 99. He will make his way up to the outside of McKennedy. He'll get a good run coming off of turn 4. Trouble for the 77 of McKennedy. Hard wobble. Not only does he fall back, but he takes Chris Pasteryak with him. Pasteryak had absolutely nowhere to go, just got stuck up right behind the 77, and they'll both fall back. Ron Silk trying to make it up and around Craig Lutz. That battle is for 5th. Right in front of them is Tommy Catalano. If Catalano moves, Silk's got somewhere to go. Catalano kind of drifting on the track, using all the track. He's got it, why not use it? We'll go up and around the slower Melissa Fifield car. She's sitting back in 24th, about 10 laps down at the moment. Silk now to the outside of Tommy Catalano. That battles for 4th. Silk makes quick work of Catalano coming off of turn number 2 there. They come off of turn 4, move Ron Silk up to 4th. Chase Dowling to 5th. Tommy Catalano back to 6th. Catalano's got Doug Colby looking to his outside. Almost nowhere to go, but Doug Colby makes it happen. Move Doug Colby up to 6th. Catalano back to 7th. Now here comes Patrick Eberle. He looks at the outside of Craig Lutz. Lutz with a little better run coming off the corner there, but gets down almost too low through the corner, and that will give Patrick Eberle all he needs to make the pass. Once again, back in days of yore, before we paved this track, you could really get your car down on the apron, really in both corners, especially off of turn 4. You can't quite do that anymore like you used to be able to. You get that car down there a little too low, the car's going to wobble on you, you're going to lose a little bit of grip, and whoever's on your outside is just going to fire out of a cannon. Jimmy Blewett has made it up and around Tommy Catalano. Here comes Matt Swanson in that blue and yellow number 3. Swanson will make the pass on the high side as they come off turn number 4. Whatever speed Catalano had on that car earlier today, it is gone. It's just he's not been able to get the handle under that car ever since he went green. After he came onto pit road, really had the lead. Probably regret coming on the first time, but Catalano just stuck down there. Chris Pasteryak makes it up past him, and now Catalano back to 12th. And fading fast. Here comes the 14 of Blake Barney. Blake Barney will look to his outside. They're side by side briefly. They come off of turn number 4. Barney not making quite as much quick work of him, but he will make quick work of him as they come off of turn number 2. It's now Samuel Ramo trying to do something with him. Ramo can't quite make the outside work. He's going to try to get to the inside of Tommy Catalano the first time by. Nothing there. Now Catalano works his way up the track a little bit. Really, he needs to sit in the middle of the track if he wants to keep some of these guys behind him, because they're killing him on the outside right now. Woody Pitcat with Craig Lutz to his outside. Craig Lutz makes quick work of Pitcat. Pitcat, again, really good run for him. Started way back in the field. Had fallen back even a little bit further. He's gotten up as far as 3rd or 4th, but has fallen back down to 10th right now as we cross 115 laps in the books. 35 laps to go in this race, folks, and it has been a doozy. Chase Dowling has made his way back up to 3rd. Kyle Monsignor really just been sitting around all race, right in the top 5 there. Hasn't really had many issues, seemingly hasn't had to race too hard to stay up there, but Monsignor sits 4th, Chase Dowling back up to 3rd. Chris Pasteryak and Blake Barney both pass Woody Pitcat now. Now Timmy Salamino looks to the inside of Blake Barney. They dive back into turn number 3. Both drivers drift up the track just a little bit, and the Salamino is going to get that spot. Blake Barney will fall back behind him. Move Salamino up to 11th, Barney back to 12th. Pitcat sits 13th. And Burt Myers has some company. It's been a while, but Burt Myers has a mirror full of Ron Silk right now. Silk putting down times about a 10th faster than Myers almost every single lap. A little bit of open track now, save for a couple of slower cars coming up in front of Burt Myers. So it's really between Burt Myers and Ron Silk here. Each lap, Myers is just a little bit slower than Silk, but we still have a lot of racing to go. 29 laps to go in this race. Plenty of time for Ron Silk to make a move. Chase Dowling's about 3 seconds back right now. He's going to need to do some work if he wants to factor into this race at the finish. Ron Silk right now almost stalking Burt Myers. Back in the field, Patrick Emmerling trying to hold off Jimmy Blewett. Blewett's another guy that's just kind of been around most of the race. Blewett makes easy work of Emmerling. Move him up to 6, Blewett up to 6, Emmerling back to 7. Caution flag, trouble in turn number 4. That is the number 78 machine of Walter Sutcliffe Jr. The second time he's brought out the caution today. And this is going to change things just a little bit. Sutcliffe gets moving again. He should be okay to go. Didn't look like he hit anything. If he had, you'd have seen it. Those tire barriers they look a little cushier than they are. They're not very forgiving. At about this point into the race, if you're going to matter in this race, you've got what you've got. Really not the time to come onto pit road unless everybody comes onto pit road. You just kind of have what you're working with right now. Burt Myers trying to make this whole race on no pit stops. Most everybody behind him has at least taken right side tires or right rear tire or something. Myers trying to do this whole thing on the tires he showed up with, the tires that God gave him. He's got Ron Silk, Chase Dowling, Cal Bonsignor, Doug Colby, Jimmy Blewett, Patrick Eberling, Matt Swanson, Chris Pasteryak, and Timmy Salamino all stacked up behind him. And you have to imagine, folks, that Burt Myers once again will take the high side on this restart. And if he can get a restart like he's had, it'll take a couple laps for Silk to come up to him. Cars coming onto pit road. Matt Swanson is going to be the first taker. Not a lot of guys coming onto pit road, and most of the guys, Craig Lutz, Woody Pitcat, Tommy Catalano, Dave Sapienza, all guys that have factored in this race at some point or another. It just, something happened and it just kind of fallen back. If you're back in that field right now, why not come on pit road, take some tires and all that? But if you're up front, you got what you got. Anthony Nacella will be a free pass car this time by. That will put, I believe, about a little over a dozen cars still on the lead lap here. Once pit road, everybody on pit road gets off pit road, we'll re-rack the field and figure out who's exactly where. But Burt Myers has been the class of the field in this second half of this race. But he's had Ron Silk all over him as of late. Can Silk do anything with him? Can Chase Dowling do anything with him? Cal Bonsignor has been kind of hanging out all race. Doug Colby's been back and forth in the field a couple times, and Colby was excited to be coming out to South Boston Speedway, as should anybody. Beautiful, beautiful facility here. It's called America's hometown track for a reason, and talking with the drivers of the Modified Tour, they're all so happy to be here, and they have given us a great, great race. And if you're not enjoying yourself today, I don't know what to tell you. It's been a beautiful day for racing. We've had a great late model stock race, had a great modified race. With just about 20 laps to go. Should take the green with about 18 laps to go here. One to go next time by. The field has been getting about one extra lap of caution just to try to get some of those marbles we talked about out of the way. They're doing a quick sweep and blow of the track. Marbles are really showing up on that top groove, right on the very edge of the dark, dark gray where you're seeing. And drivers are talking about that in practice, hoping that the track workers can try to get that brushed out just a little bit so they have a little more room to work. Track has been able to do so, but told them it might be an extra lap of caution. Everyone seemed to be pretty okay with that. Coming to green will come to green on lap number 132. Burt Myers is your leader. Ron Silk, Chase Dowling, Cal Bonsignor, Doug Colby, Jimmy Blewett, Patrick Emmerling, Chris Pasteryak, Timmy Salamito, Blake Barney, Sam Ramu, your top 11. Once again, a great restart for Burt Myers. However, here comes Ron Silk to the inside. Little trouble for Burt Myers. Ron Silk is your new leader. Chase Dowling to the inside. Here comes Burt Myers back on the high side. Does Burt Myers have anything left in that car? Great run on the high side. He's got Chase Dowling to his inside. Dowling drifts up the track, shoves Burt Myers way into the light gray. Burt Myers falls back. Ron Silk is your leader. Chase Dowling to second. Myers now battling for third with Cal Bonsignor. Burt Myers has shuffled back to fourth place, right in front of Jimmy Blewett. Now Myers has a hornet's nest of cars, all with newer tires than him, all right behind him. Myers is going to have to battle for each and every spot he's got to hold on to. Behind him is Jimmy Blewett, Chris Pasteryak, Doug Colby, Patrick Emmerling, Timmy Salamito, your next few cars in line. And folks, Burt Myers is getting roughed up just a little bit. Guys are really shoving him up out of the way. Almost every time in the corner there to get to the inside of him, pushing him up out into the light gray, and Myers has had nowhere to go. Doug Colby got shuffled back to 8th, trying to find his way back up front. He's to the outside of the 16 machine of Timmy Salamito. Blake Barney just kind of hanging out on the outside. Trying to make his way past Craig Lutz. Lutz is giving no quarter down there, though. Lutz has had a good car on the inside just about all day. He drifts up the track, kind of moves Blake Barney a little bit out of the way. Barney's going to fall back behind him, both him and Matt Swanson, and possibly Woody Pitcat as well. Taking a little bit of work, but should be past just about completed for Woody Pitcat. Just up the track a little bit, almost a bit of contact between Woody Pitcat and Blake Barney. Pitcat will get the spot. Meanwhile, Doug Colby up and around the 16 of Timmy Salamito. Colby holding on to 6th place right now. Salamito in 8th place, I'm sorry. Timmy Salamito at 9th. Craig Lutz up to 10th, making it out front though, folks. It is all Ron Silk. He's got about a half-second advantage over Chase Dowling as this field starts to single file out just a little bit. Ron Silk has been lingering around the top 5 all race. Had his chance. Looked like he was waiting for his chance behind Burt Myers. On that restart, got his chance, moved Burt Myers up just a little bit, and has taken advantage Pulling away is a 3/4 second advantage from Ron Silk back to Chase Dowling. Jimmy Blewett riding around in third all by himself as well, but Chase Dowling falling back by about a 1/2 tenth every single lap. He's going to need some help from Ron Silk. That advantage has opened up to over a second advantage between Ron Silk to Chase Dowling. It's another 2 seconds back to Jimmy Blewett. Kyle Bonsignor, Burt Myers are your top 5, but it has been absolutely all Ron Silk from the restart of this race. Ron Silk's going to dive it into turn number 1. He comes off of turn number 2, nice and clean. Clear track ahead of him down the backstretch. Ron Silk races a 360 feet into turn number 3. Norwalk, Connecticut's Ron Silk comes off at turn number 4. He will take the checkered flag and he will win the South Boston 150. Chase Dowling finishes second. Jimmy Blewett third. Kyle Bonsignor fourth. Burt Myers rounds out your top 5. We'll chat with Ron Silk in Victory Lane here in just one moment. Once again, thanks for everybody joining us on fanschoice.tv. Thanks for everyone joining us here at South Boston Speedway. Ron Silk wasted no time getting into Victory Lane here. Wasted no time on that restart, wasted no time after the race. Once again, Ron Silk, your winner. Chase Dowling finished second. Jimmy Blewett third. Kyle Bonsignor fourth. Burt Myers fifth. Chris Pasteryak, Patrick Eberle, Doug Colby, Timmy Salamito, Craig Lutz round out your top 10 in today's South Boston 150. Silk had one restart to make it count. Did what he had to do to try to get his way up there and try to beat out a driver who knows this track better than just about anybody else, Burt Myers. Ron Silk getting the congratulations from all of his crew. A lot of friends, family all tucking their head in there. We'll chat with him here in Victory Lane in just a few moments. Once again, the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour makes its way up to Thompson Speedway 1 week from Sunday at the Icebreaker. Want to thank all of these teams, a lot of them making a long trip down from the Northeast, come down here to race. Second leg of the Southern Swing between here at Myrtle Beach Speedway and folks, your winner of today's race, Ron Silk, everybody! We will chat with Ron Silk here in just one moment. Finishes up interviews with NBC Sports. Once again, this race will be on April 8th at 7 p.m. on NBC Sports, channel 220 on your satellite TV. Check local listings elsewhere, but that will be April 8th at 7 p.m. for the tape delayed broadcast of this race. And to present the trophy for today's South Boston 150, Nikki Glasky and Kathy Rice.
On behalf of everybody here at South Boston Speedway, congratulations on the first win for the Modified Tour Series here in 18 years.
And Ron, I know it's been a little bit of time for you since, go ahead, put this trophy up here for now. And I know it's been a little bit of time for you since you found your way into Victory Lane. How good does this race feel? And talk about that last restart. What was your plan going into that with Bert in front of you?
Well, you know, me and Bert were both running the top, so I figured he was going to take the top on the restart. And I got a pretty good launch and tried to hook the bottom through 1 and 2 the best I could, carry some speed. I mean, we got it together a little bit, you know, coming off 2. I don't know how bad that messed him up, but, you know, we just had, I was way too loose the first run, started to fade towards the end of it, but I kind of knew once we pitted and changed tires that we'd be in pretty good shape. So we didn't change much, just stickered up, and the thing was really good.
Your last win was a couple of years ago, I believe, up at the Speed Bowl, and you had to come all the way down to South Boston Speedway for your next one. How much did you enjoy racing here today? It's been the first time since we've had this tour here in many, many years.
Well, I loved it. This is you know, a first-class facility. You could tell the amount of work and effort that goes into this place. Can't thank South Boston Speedway enough for having us, and I hope this can be, you know, become an annual deal.
How much does this help you build on going up to Thompson in a week?
Winning is always good. So we got some work to do and to get ready for next week, but, you know, we'll try again then.
Ladies and gentlemen, your winner today, Ron Silk, everyone. This race, of course, is brought to you live online on fanschoice.tv. The full NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour can be found, schedule can be found at NASCARmodifiedtour.com. 1 week from tomorrow, they'll be up at Thompson Speedway at the Icebreaker, the one and only Icebreaker, that I should say. Our next race here at South Boston Speedway, April 20th, NASCAR Late Model 100, to be followed by May 4th by the K&N Pro Series, K&N East Twin 100s. May 4th is that race. Tickets on sale in advance right now, $10 in advance, $15 out of the gate. The more tickets you buy, the more money you're going to save. Go to southbostonspeedway.com for more information.